"Mommy, the fridge is empty and I'm hungry." She responded, "Stop complaining. Instead, go catch some cockroaches so we can eat them." I had no friends or family and I was feeling extremely lonely. That's why I started binge eating cockroaches. I probably gained 10 kilograms in 3 months.
YouTube animations. A genre of content that is guaranteed to ruin your day no matter how good it's going. Don't believe me? Well, that is a mistake, but I guess we've all got to learn somewhere, right? I am addicted to eating cockroaches. Yes, this is a real video that is supposedly based on a real story. How's that day going now? Now, this is from our favorite animation channel, My Story Animator, who has put out some questionable videos in the past. This is nothing out of their ordinary. A person addicted to eating cockroaches, that's just another Thursday. Now, if you've never seen a Share My Story video, they are very good at making sure that the title of the video never actually comes into play during the actual video. There's about a 50% chance we won't even see a cockroach over the next 10 minutes. But hey, I'm feeling lucky, so let's see what My Story Animated has in store for us. Let's begin. Please subscribe.
My name is Sissy, and I grew up under terrible conditions because my mom was mentally ill. She often made me steal stuff from shops because no one suspected a little girl like me to be a thief. Of course, I was scared of being caught, but my mom gave me no choice. However, one night she drank too much and fell down the stairs.
Alright, strong start, I must admit. Really just got slapped in the face with exposition there. But I don't know, this seems kinda promising. We might actually see a cockroach or two.
Suddenly, she couldn't walk anymore, and I had to take care of her even though I was only 11. We quickly ran out of food, and I said, "Mommy, the fridge is empty and I'm hungry." She responded, "Stop complaining. Instead, go catch some cockroaches so we can eat them."
Oh my god, guys, we have just witnessed history. I think this is the fastest a Share My Story video has managed to get to the point. I don't think it can get much better than this.
Was she serious? I was petrified of those disgusting little insects, but I still trapped one of them and showed it to my mom. She told me to cook it, but we only had a toaster, so I killed it and put it in there. After I'd given it to my mom to eat, I caught many more roaches and even ate my very first small baby cockroach. It tasted okay, so I started to catch hundreds of them and became the provider of my family.
Alright, so I know that certain cultures and certain places do eat cockroaches, but it's not just the cockroaches you find around your house, it's a different type of bug. I'm pretty sure it's like ridiculously dangerous to eat the cockroaches that you'd find in a house. They carry all kinds of diseases and you're catching hundreds of them and presumably eating them all? How are you alive?
But then the toaster broke and we had to eat them raw. Of course, they were extremely dirty, so we often got sick, but at least we had a full stomach.
Alright, I should have waited 3 seconds to make my last point, but still, like, you wouldn't just be able to keep eating them. Eventually, I think you would probably die. Like, you would get some sort of disease. You wouldn't be able to just keep munching on them and throwing up every once in a while.
I continued living like this for weeks until people from the government came into our apartment and took me away from my mom.
I really think that we should make like an animation channel bingo card, because the same stuff always seems to happen. There'd be one slot for government takes the child, mommy and daddy get a divorce, bullied by the popular girl, accidentally had 10 children. There's like 5 basic ideas for animation videos, and every single animation video on YouTube is some variation of one of the 5.
The taste gave me a feeling of comfort because it reminded me of my mom. I started eating so many of them that I got salmonella infection and had to go to the hospital. When I told the doctor that I was addicted to eating cockroaches, he brought me to a psychologist who told me that there was nothing wrong about eating roaches as long as they were clean. He convinced me to start farming roaches, and that turned out to be much easier than I had thought. All I needed was a box of roaches and some fruits to feed them.
I don't think that psychologist nor the doctor should have their license. That is, not good advice to give to an 11-year-old child. Oh, so you just got salmonella from eating so many cockroaches? Then how about you make a cockroach farm, huh?
After a few months, I had more than 1,000 of them. But I made a big mistake and let them roam around my room freely, because one baby roach crawled through my nose and into my brain while I was asleep. I didn't know what was going on, only that my nose hurt. I kept it untreated for several days until I visited a doctor who saw something moving way up my nose. It took several hours to pull the cockroach out, but from then, I always kept them locked in my box.
Alright, so I just want to remind you guys that, once again, these are supposed to be real stories. So far, we've got a cockroach farming orphan who got a cockroach stuck in her brain. I mean, if that doesn't sound like a believable story, then I'm not sure what does.
But I had bigger problems. I had no friends or family, and I was feeling extremely lonely. That's why I started binge eating cockroaches. I probably gained 10 kilograms in 3 months, and I knew I had to change my life or my roach addiction would kill me. I still remember my last roach. It was a small baby one, maybe 1 centimeter big. I ate it raw and alive. Then I brushed my teeth and said, never again. Afterward, I thought I needed an education to get ahead in life, so I taught myself writing and reading by spending most of my days at the library.
Okay, so going back to my previous point, we now not only have a cockroach farming orphan who had a cockroach crawl into her brain, that very cockroach farming orphan also managed to teach herself how to read and write. I also like how it was implied that obesity from eating so many cockroaches would have been what killed her, not the, fact that she was eating thousands of cockroaches.
One rainy afternoon while at the library, I bumped into a guy. He was dressed in all black and apologized.
We quickly bonded over our differences. I was a cockroach eater. He was a Chernobyl baby with a hand 7 times the size of the national average.
I could tell he was different, just like me. I asked, "What are you studying here?" And he responded, "I'm studying philosophy." We sat down at a cafe and talked for hours. He was just like me. He said his family had raised him on a farm, but mostly neglected him. He said they didn't speak a single word with him from age 11 to 16. His only friends were books until he ran away and found a job as a construction worker. But his love for reading brought him to a university.
This must not be in America, right? You have no credit, no basis to take out a loan, and no savings, and you're attending a college? That's the best joke an animation channel has ever told. Alright, so the next few minutes of this video, I'm not gonna put on my channel. If you're interested in what happens, you can go watch it yourself, that's fine. Let's just say the video takes a pretty sharp turn for seemingly no reason. It gets weird, and I don't feel like talking about it, nor do I feel like showing it, so we're just gonna move on.
But one day he was just gone. He didn't respond to my text, and his dorm mate said he had disappeared without saying anything. Of course I was worried. Maybe something had happened to him, so I called up all the hospitals, but he wasn't there. Maybe he had left because of me. Maybe he didn't love me anymore. I suddenly remembered my mom. For years I had avoided thinking about her, but now it all came back, especially the guilt that I had not taken care of her. I stayed inside my bed for days, crying my heart out until I decided I had to find her. Maybe she was still alive, so I went to the police and asked them to find out where they had brought my mom 10 years ago.
If I had to guess, I'd imagine she's in the slammer. If the police catch you making your child eat cockroaches for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're probably going to prison.
It took them 2 weeks to figure out, but the news wasn't good. My mom had died shortly after we were separated. I can't describe how hard the news hit me. I was absolutely devastated. I knew I was close to giving up and asked myself, is my life worth living? The answer was, no, it's not. But I knew it could become worth living if I got a nice job, found a husband, and had kids someday. Yes, that would be a life worth living. And that's what I'm working towards right now.
What? That's it? That's how this ends? I thought you were gonna end up being like the world's biggest cockroach farmer or something. Or the guy you were dating was studying sustainable cockroach farming something. That's it? I'm looking for a husband? I guess it's kind of realistic, but you don't really expect that from these channels. Should I be disappointed with such a weak ending, or should I be happy that it's realistic? I'm so torn. Well guys, surprisingly, this might be the animation video that has left me feeling the most lost. I am disappointed about something I never thought I'd be disappointed about. You just get so used to the absurdity that when it's not there, it just doesn't feel right. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and walk on over to that subscribe button and touch it. It's free. It won't cost you anything. But for now, that's all I have for you today. Bye.
Subscribe.